My first visit to Bangalore was way back in 1992 when I was here to attend a India Under 19 camp. And today also when I entered, I could meet my old friend Mr. Brijesh Patel, who I was associated for a long time. Then I saw a tall man standing from far, Mr. Ricky Cage. His achievements are also very tall and we all are very proud for his achievements. Another, my old friends from the youth wing who I worked with from one agitation to another during the UPA time, exposing their corruption to other such malpractices during those period. I met Gitanjali ji, I used to meet her husband Vikram Kirloskar ji, then daughter Manasi and others. I knew few of you who are sitting here, but so I'm less nervous. I can speak now, I think. Thank you for being part of this great initiative. Well, when I look back in 2014, there was many challenges in front of us. Policy paralysis to the corruption to the next level. And my 2 terms during the UPA regime, 14th and the 15th Lok Sabha, were speaking against them, taking out their corruption cases, talking about various other issues where government was controlled by remote control. The decisions were not taken by the Prime Minister, by someone else. Now then 2014 came, what was the option, what was the alternative? We at that time promised that we're going to give you Prime Minister Modi, who has delivered in the Gujarat, state of Gujarat, has done well for the industry, for the people of Gujarat, has contributed towards the growth of the country. One area which is the agriculture in a state of Gujarat, if you see, in most of the area they don't have enough rainfall, then how can you have good agriculture? If you look at the initiatives taken by him at that time, because of that Gujarat achieved 18% growth rate in the agriculture sector. In the industry, he used to attract a lot of people with the initiatives. And the vibrant Gujarat, what he started, is now replicated by many other states to get investment in their. Welcome. So with inflation in double digits during the UPA time, economy growing at 5%, the economy was crawling. Though the traffic in Bangalore is also, but here at least that moves. At that time the economy was little stagnant and policy paralysis, I think that was impacting it. But well, we promised at that time that we're going to give you a clean government, we're going to deliver on the ground, we're going to work for the poor and marginalized section of the society. And today when I stand in front of you after 10 years of Modi government, I can proudly say, as far as the central government is concerned, we have given you a clean government, corruption-free government, where nobody could raise a finger on Prime Minister or on any of his cabinet minister or the state minister of states. So that is what we have tried to do. We have used the technology to ensure the last mile delivery. And I can give you the numbers, I'll come to that later. When I'm speaking about technology, this is the right place to speak about technology, the city of Bangalore. Many people in the world may know Bangalore rather than not many cities of the India, but they know where to come and to come to Bangalore and go back. But when we got an opportunity to host the G20 summit, Prime Minister did not restrict it to one city or the national capital. He spread it across the country, 60 cities, more than 220 destinations, showcased our art, culture, our traditions to the world. And finally, when we met the global leaders on the G20 summit, the kind of feedback we got from them was outstanding. They said we never knew about the thousands of year old culture, traditions of India, and our people want to explore it more. But if anyone wants to come into India, they need good infrastructure. Do we had in 2014? I will give you some numbers so that you can make some comparison out of it. We had 74 airports in 2014. We have 150 airports today. We had metro in 5 cities. We have metro in 20 cities today. We have 3,20,000 kilometers of rural roads. We have added another 3,75,000 kilometers of rural roads. We have 96,000 kilometers of national highways. Today we have 1,50,000 plus kilometers of national highway. We had only 16 IIT, we have 23 now. We had 12 IIMs, we have 19 now. We had 384 medical colleges earlier, we have more than 720 medical colleges now. We had about 530 universities, we have 1100 universities now. So if you compare it then and now, there is a clear demarcation that what we have achieved in 10 years is more than what Congress delivered in 60 years. So we had 7 aims, we have 23 aims now. So pick up any sector, you will see how the growth has taken place. We were the 10th largest economy then, we are the 5th largest economy now, and soon we're going to be the 3rd largest economy in the next 5 years. We were among the fragile 5, today we are the 5th largest economy. Now, it didn't happen overnight. Some efforts have taken place. It looks very small that bank accounts are opened. But if you look at 10 years back, you have to take 2 people with you, proposer and seconder, to open a bank account. And you have to have at least 1,000 rupees as a minimum balance to maintain that account. We came with a zero frill account, opened more than 48 crore bank accounts. Now how it changed the life for a common citizen. They were not part of the economy or the banking system. Many people raised question, these are going to be the dead accounts. But today there are more than 2,14,000 crore rupees deposited in those 48 crore accounts, which become a part of the formal economy. अगर धंधे वाले तो आसानी से समझते हैं कि 2,14,000 करोड़ बैंक में आए और साल में 3 बार घूम गया तो 6 लाख करोड़ रुपया धंधे में आ गया, इकोनॉमी में आ गया. मैं जब फैक्ट्री चलाता था, when I used to run a manufacturing unit, earlier the mindset of my family used to be that whatever stock is our asset, ये हमारा इतना बस बैलेंस शीट में दिखेगा. But then we changed, we sold that, कुछ भी जो स्क्रैप से लेके बाकी सब कुछ बहुत बेयर मिनिमम हम अपना स्टॉक रखते थे, तो उससे उतना ही पैसा हमारा सर्कुलेशन में आया. वो हमने अपना पैसा देखा, उतना बैंक से कम लेना पड़ा, उतना इंटरेस्ट कम देना पड़ा, उतना सामान हम लोग बेच पाए. सिमिलरली यहाँ पर भी एक दुकानदार के लिए, एक छोटे व्यापारी के लिए जिसको पैसा ही नहीं मिलता था, दे यूज्ड टू गेट एट 3% मंथली इंटरेस्ट, यानी कि 36% साल का इंटरेस्ट पे पैसा एक रेडी वाले को मिलता, सब्जी वाले को मिलता था. टुडे they can get a loan at 11%, 12%, 10%, and if they are getting it under Mudra, we have already given close to 37 crore loans worth 24 lakh crore rupees without any security and guarantee to the common man. And 68% of them are women. When I'm talking about women, today is the Women's Day. Heartfelt congratulations to all of you. Another good news to the city of Bangalore that Mrs. Sudha Murthy, who has done extremely well, is nominated as a Rajya Sabha MP. Let me congratulate her on this platform. I think she has done a lot of work and we all are proud of her achievements. We are grateful to the President and the Prime Minister of India for nominating her. But at the same time, what was the situation of a common woman? Today we talk about women empowerment, women-led empowerment. This year we had the Republic Day where we saw that it was led by the women. Last year when Egypt president came, he was sitting next to the Prime Minister Modi and he said, the world talk about women empowerment, but what I could see on the Kartavya Path is the women-led development, and that we could see only in India. from army, navy to air force, from the cultural items to the various space in various sectors, how women are doing extremely well in India. And today, if you look at the startups also, a large number of women are actively involved in that. They are directors also. Things are changing fast. Today we have seen a tribal woman coming from a rural tribal background, going up straight to the President of India position. It can happen only in India, in a democratic setup. So let me throw some light on. Yes, few days back I was in Bangalore. Oh, I was in Lucknow. In Lucknow, I was doing a question answer round, and one of the guy who stood up and said, "We pay taxes to the government. What we get in return?" It was a very good question. आप में से भी बहुत सारे लोग टैक्स देते होंगे. मैंने इसलिए कहा कि बहुत सारे लोग पहले कमाते थे लेकिन टैक्स नहीं देते थे. But the direct tax and the indirect tax both have increased. That means the people are paying taxes honestly. When they see that every single penny paid by them as a tax is rightly used for the growth of the country, to bring the people out of the poverty line, and the number says it all. In last 10 years, Prime Minister Modi government has brought out 25 crore Indians out of the multi-dimensional poverty line. It's not a small number, 250 million Indians coming out of the poverty line. In a country where we used to listen speeches from Nehru ji till Sonia ji, गरीबी हटाओ, गरीबी हटाओ, गरीबी हटाओ. गरीब मिट गया लेकिन गरीबी नहीं हटती थी. But the policies worked here. We made 40 million houses for the poor. We made 120 million toilets for the poor. We have given 100 million Ujjwala LPG gas cylinders to the poor women. We have given 130 million tap connections. That means those many houses are getting a water right in their kitchen or in their bathroom. They're getting it now. They used to spend a lot of time going to the forest to get the wood or to collect the water, going out for the daily needs. Today that all has been taken care. More than 600 million Indians are getting Ayushman Bharat benefit, free health service, the largest in the world, about 5 lakh rupees annually. Apart than that, 800 million Indians are getting free food grains. It's not a small number. Only India could do it. And during the COVID time, we have seen not one, but we have made 2 vaccines made in India and also administered 220 million, or you could say 2.2 billion vaccine doses in India. Not only that, we have supplied vaccines to 157 countries across the world. We had the Arogya Setu app to the COVID app, where your technology plays a very important role. There are many people in the world, the Indians who are heading a big organizations, companies as their CEOs. Even they didn't have this facility, but India had the digital certification. UPI was another initiative of the Modi government. A former finance minister once said in the Rajya Sabha, if one has to pay a 7 rupee, how they can pay if they have to buy a small item, maybe a toffee or chocolate or something from any shop, how will they do the transaction? There is no internet, there is no smartphone. But today we can say, out of 1.4 billion Indians, we have 1 billion youth, 1 billion smartphones and 1 billion internet connections nowhere in the world, but in India we have. And that is our strength. And we have the 46% transaction, the digital payments in the world are made in India. Apart than that, the mobile phones which we are using, 7 years back, India was the second largest importer of the mobile phones. We are the second largest manufacturer today. Earlier we used to look at others for the space sector. Today, India has become the first country with a successful Chandrayaan mission to reach the south pole of the moon, on the moon. After us, it is Japan and now America who did so. We have opened up the space sector for the startups also, and we have seen a lot of people coming out as entrepreneurs, as startups into that sector as well. From space to sports, I shouldn't leave the sports sector because earlier we used to talk about cricket only, and for good reasons. We have done well in the last so many years. But if you look at last few years, we have come out with the Khelo India, Fit India, these kind of schemes, where the boarding, lodging, training has been taken care by the government of India, and they are also paid the out-of-pocket allowance worth 6 lakh rupees annually to the elite, then to the development athlete about 3 lakh rupees. Then we have the Khelo India accredited academies where the athletes, if they are selected, close to 3,000 athletes are trained there. They get about 6 lakhs 20,000 rupees annually. So a lot of money is being spent. Budget has been increased 3 times. And if you look at the medal tally, the number of total medals we have won in the World University Games in last so many years, this time we have won more medals than that. 26 medals we have won. Then in Tokyo Olympics, 7 Paralympics, 19 Deaflympics, 20 Commonwealth Games, 61. Then we have also won the Thomas Cup, which we couldn't win in last 72 years. Our women team has become the Asian champion of the badminton tournament. Now, when we went for the Asian Games, last time we had 64 medals. This time I said, इस बार 100 पार. And I'm glad to say, 100 पार क्रिकेट की बात नहीं मैं कर रहा. शुभमन गिल और रोहित शर्मा ने तो सेंचुरीज बनाई दी है. But our athletes have won 107 medals in Asian Games, and Para Games 111 medals. So I think there are many such fields, from space to sports, where we have done well, area where we were lagging behind, but there is still miles to go. Well, in Lucknow, I said to that fellow that if you are paying taxes, and I asked him, how much tax have you paid? He said, I have paid 44,000 rupees tax. I said, thank you for paying taxes, because with 44,000 rupees, we have built 2 toilets for a woman who did not have the facility for last good 70 years. Now that family has got a toilet. It might be a small thing sitting in a 5-star hotel, but if you go to the rural areas in the country, most of the crime against women was because there was a lack of toilet facility. Majority of the women suffered, especially the pregnant women, because there was a lack of toilet facility. Most of the women had the health crisis because they didn't have the LPG gas cylinder. Now, if you look at a small family, a poor family, who got a 2-room house, a gas cylinder, LPG cooking facility, to a toilet, to a water connection, then to a health facility, to the free food grain facility, free vaccine, their life has changed. They've saved money. And when they've saved money, that means their spending power has increased. And when that money goes into the market, that means that creates a demand. When that creates a demand, then creates a more production facility in the country. That creates more service industry in the country. That clearly shows that the wheel goes on, because if they save something and they're willing to spend something. During the COVID, that was the big challenge for us. What should be done? We gave the moratorium period to all the businessmen to pay the bank interest and the installment, 6 months in moratorium period. Then we also came out with the emergency credit line guarantee scheme to provide 20% additional working capital so that the company should not shut down and they should expand. Today we can proudly say, one after another, from IMF to Moody's and so on, they're coming out with their reports, and everyone said in 2022 that India is the bright spot in the world's economy. And today, if you read Moody's report, it says India will be the fastest growing economy at 8%. So with the third quarter, last year we were 8.4% growth. Clearly the things are looking very positive, but the momentum has to go on. गाड़ी की भी ब्रेक लग जाए तो उसको एक बार फिर रफ्तार देने में थोड़ा समय लगता है, और टोयोटा वाले ज़्यादा अच्छा समझते हैं, तो गियर शिफ्ट करने में तो थोड़ा समय लगता ही है। लेकिन इतने बड़े देश को गियर शिफ्ट करने में बहुत समय लगता है। अटल जी 10वें नंबर की अर्थव्यवस्था छोड़ के गए थे, हाईवे बना कर गए थे, लेकिन वो ग्रोथ रेट कम होते होते 5% पे आ गई, फिस्कल डेफिसिट बढ़ गया और हमारे फॉरेक्स रिजर्व्स कम हो गए। टुडे द करंट अकाउंट डेफिसिट इज बिलो 2%. Our inflation rate in the last 10 years is average 4.8%, whereas in the UPA time it was more than 10%, 11% on an average. The economic growth rate was 5% at that time. Today we stand at 8%. So all I'm trying to say is the things are looking better and better, with the FDI the highest ever and the forex reserves highest ever. Now we want people like you, who the people listen to, they look up to. You have achieved a lot in your area. Now if you spend some time, share your views with a lot of people on the digital media, social media platforms, or in the society, that creates the right environment. We need Viksit Bharat Ambassador because Prime Minister has set a target for the next 25 years to make India a Viksit Bharat, a developed economy by 2047. I personally feel if we keep growing at the same pace, we won't wait till 2047. India can achieve it well before 2047. Whatever targets we have given, the commitment given at the international platforms. Look at the International Solar Alliance. When I talk about Prime Minister Modi, a lot of people had big question mark on Modi, that he came from Gujarat, he never been abroad. What will be the foreign policy of India? Well, India will be secure or not? Well, investment will come or not? Today we can say, yes, India is much more secure than before. We got rid of Nehruji's foolish Article 370 and 35A, which took away 45,000 lives in the state of Jammu and Kashmir. Today Kashmir is safe, secure, and the growth is great. The tourists are growing. They are getting a lot of investment. At the same time, if you look at our country also, one after another, examples I can quote: when Prime Minister Modi went abroad, International Solar Alliance to Global Biofuel Alliance, now the International Big Cat Alliance, from the Yoga Day being celebrated, unanimously agreed by each and everyone to celebrate 21st June as the International Yoga Day. That shows that our leadership is accepted at the international level, and people are looking at India and India's leadership with a great hope. और उम्मीद पे दुनिया चलती है, होप पे दुनिया चलती है, और ये उम्मीद अगर दुनिया को भारत से और भारत के नेतृत्व से है, तो मुझे लगता है हम सबका ये दायित्व और कर्तव्य बनता है कि पूर्ण बहुमत से तो सरकार देश बनाएगा ही मोदी जी की, हम अपने अपने क्षेत्र में और लोगों को जागरूक कैसे कर सकें, अवेयरनेस कैसे क्रिएट कर सकें, और ये विकसित भारत की यात्रा जो अगले 25 साल है, इसको जुनून के साथ जीना पड़ेगा। आपको याद होगा, आज़ादी से पहले लाखों युवाओं ने अपनी जान कुर्बान कर दी, बलिदान दे दिया। जुनून था कि देश को आज़ादी दिलानी है, आज़ाद भारत चाहिए। वो जुनून था, बलिदान दिया आज़ाद भारत के लिए। आज योगदान देना है विकसित भारत बनाने के लिए, विकसित भारत बनाने के लिए, और ये योगदान अगले 25 साल तक आपका लगातार चाहिए। इसीलिए आपको विकसित भारत का एम्बेसडर बनाने के लिए आप आगे आए हैं, योगदान देने के लिए आगे आए हैं। मुझे पूर्ण विश्वास है आपके योगदान से देश तो आगे बढ़ेगा ही। ये मौका बहुत कम आता है कि देश में कोई ऐसा नेता आए जिसके एक बार कहने से देश के 1 करोड़ लोग अपनी एलपीजी की सब्सिडी छोड़ दें। कोई 1 रुपया भी छोड़ता नहीं जी। वैसे कभी दुकान पे जाएं, छुट्टे में पैसा ना मिले तो भी टॉफ़ी वापस लेते थे या कुछ और खाने के लिए लेते थे, दुकानदार भी देता था। यहाँ पूरे साल की सब्सिडी छोड़ दें, बहुत बड़ी बात है, कोई छोटी बात नहीं है। लेकिन लोगों ने छोड़ा क्योंकि लोगों को विश्वास था लीडरशिप पे, और उसका फ़र्क ये पड़ा, 1 करोड़ लोगों ने छोड़ा तो 10 करोड़ लोगों को लाभ मिला। टेक्नोलॉजी का उपयोग हुआ, डीबीटी हमने शुरू किया तो उसका फ़ायदा क्या हुआ? लेट मी आंसर दैट इन दिस वे। वी हैव आइडेंटिफाइड 42 million fake ration cards, 41 million fake LPG gas cylinder connections, and when they were taken out, we have saved ration, we have saved various other subsidies, and India has saved close to 2,70,000 crore rupees by using the technology, making the system more transparent and accountable, and that is how we are working today. And I'm sure with people like you who knows the technology, who understand the numbers, who understand the achievements, can play a very, very important role as a Viksit Bharat Ambassador. Thank you for taking out your time. I'm more than happy to take the questions if you have any, or to give any clarifications on any other issue. If you have any suggestions how other Viksit Bharat ambassadors can play a key role of creating awareness, not only in India but abroad also. Many of you travel very frequently overseas. You might have experienced that earlier. What was the value of India's passport and what is the value of India passport today? How things have changed in 10 years. That makes you realize what we have lost in the first 60 years in this country. If Korea, Singapore can become a developed nation, India would have achieved it much before. But then we didn't have the right leadership. Today, we have a right, decisive leadership, a strong leader who is not only a leader of India, a leader of Bharatiya Janata Party, but for the last 4 years, he is the most popular leader in the world, Prime Minister Modi. And he has started this Viksit Bharat Ambassador program. Thank you for being here. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.